All right, guys, how are you doing? If you are in Discord, maybe you can hear me, or there should be a chat on YouTube. Let me have a look. Here we go. Wow, it is so slow. The YouTube is so far behind. Yeah, spear gun. FTX accounts coming back by the looks of it, which is looking pretty good. I'm not sure the timeline on it though. Original reports were that we would get back in Q2, but I think the person was reporting it, I don't know, made a mistake. Basically, they're going to bring it out, I don't know, later on in the year. I think possibly next year, unless somebody buys it. So that could be, yeah, that could be the thing that speeds it up a fair bit anyway. If somebody does come out and buy the platform, basically, then we would get a fair bit of that gap filled. If there is a gap, I imagine that whoever is the purchaser of the account would have to whoever would be the purchaser of the company would have to buy out and fill the gap, whatever the remaining gap is. So they've recovered 7.3 billion so far. Let's get it up. I'll show you guys. This is a guy I've been following. He drops a whole heap of really good information about it. But basically, they've recovered $7.3 billion anyway. You guys can go on and have a look at all his posts and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the details of all the recoveries. They've recovered 7.3 billion at the moment, and that's not including all like the B class cryptos, which are like all the trash ones. So like Serum and all that sort of stuff, which isn't really worth anything or illiquid. It's all the main stuff like Bitcoin, Solana, and stuff like that actually has a market that can be sold into. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. They've already recovered 7.3 billion, and they're probably going to recover that 1.2 billion from CZ soon as well, because he's next on the chopping block for their clawbacks. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, to be honest, because that would put us at $9.4 billion. I'm not sure exactly what the gap is, but I mean, there's been reports of it being somewhere from 9 to 12, right? So if it, we get to 9.4 and then it's around 11 or 12 or something like that, then a company can come in and buy it for a couple of billion. It was making $1 billion a year. So it's a pretty good deal, to be honest. So let's see how it ends up playing out. Good signs anyway. If you have questions, I guess probably the easiest way to drop them would be either in Discord, guys. If you're in Discord, to drop them on the live, on the YouTube live, but it's just a little bit delayed and I won't be checking it all the time. Let's go have a look at the charts though. So this is my Ethereum chart, okay? And I just kind of get the feeling like it has potential. We're pretty much pushing into 2000 at the moment. Like when we were back here, I was talking about 2000 getting hit up here a fair bit in a few of my videos, and saying the most obvious sort of setup here at the moment is a flip of this range high support resistance block, which we did really nicely here on this daily, and then pushing up from there. Pretty much just has been all upside, right? A little bit of low time frame sideways stuff through here as well, and obviously all the stuff with the Shanghai release and everything like that. There was a little bit of concern about, a lot of people were saying that it would cause a big sell-off in the market, but I've got the chart up with all the validators. Let me have a look here. Right, so we can see that even though there's a lot of people that have been withdrawing as well, so this is all the withdrawals here that obviously only just started this morning. I think it's maybe divided by hour. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, divided by hour. And there was a whole heap of deposits just in the last hour, just passed. So, that is one of the biggest spikes in deposits that we've seen on this chart in April anyway. It's going higher. It just looked like it moved up. Doesn't make sense though, because it was the last hour. But it looks like, the fact that people can withdraw from the ETH staking protocols now makes it more attractive that people want to, actually get involved in staking. Because if you can't withdraw, like, I don't know, for a lot of people, that's too big of a barrier, and there's no timeline on when you're actually going to be able to withdraw your funds invested. There's probably a little bit too much of a risk profile for a lot of people, but now that's opening up. We're already starting to see people come in and deposit in larger amounts as well. So this is a really good little site. It is called FuryNansen.ai, public dashboard. I'll drop it in, I'll drop a link to it in Discord if you guys want. Carlos, very nice. Ethereum long there, brother. Anyway, so yeah, at the moment, 97,000 ETH has been withdrawn in the last 24 hours, which, was no surprise that there's going to be a decent amount, but the amount of Ethereum that's being requested to be withdrawn versus how much is staked is quite minimal, right? So, and most reports are saying that it's mostly the profit that people have made by staking for the last, some people have been in for over a year, I think. So a lot of people are just withdrawing their cream off the top and leaving the rest of the validating Ethereum in there. So pretty interesting anyway, see how that's playing out. And I sort of had the theory that it would be bullish. And yeah, we ended up pumping a really nice 4 hour here, breaking out of our weekly high level. So this is the key weekly here that we needed to break through. So I want to see a weekly close on the 3-day above this level, right? And then from there, on the weekly time frame, there is a huge gap in here. Probably the next clean level is up here at 2,500. Okay, and that could get filled in on a weekly time frame if Bitcoin runs really hard. One thing to look at, right, on Bitcoin, in my opinion, the Ethereum bottom at the moment looks a lot similar to the BTC bottom in 2019, right? Very similar sort of structure, rising bottoms through here. And obviously we're pushing, had a really nice breakout and pushed the upside off this all the way up to the 0.618, right? If you've been watching my streams lately, you've probably seen me draw this a lot. And there was a big weak order block level through here as well that we came up to and tested. So up to 0.618, we get up here on Ethereum. Right, and it's going to take us up to this area here, which I think is a target for Bitcoin as well for the reaccumulation run. But I don't know, if you look at them, I can get up the side-by-side view in a second, or maybe pop down. I probably should have done this earlier. Right, obviously, the Ethereum one has lasted a lot longer because this was like 320 days, whereas this was only like 130, right? But very similar structures through there. And we're sort of just coming through this part at the moment. We won't have a massive breakout like this because this was just a ridiculous amount of shorts getting liquidated on 100x leverage, and it snowballed because that was how the market used to work back in the day on BitMEX. But I could see this pushing pretty significantly up to maybe this level here at 2,226 if we do get like a big liquidation cascade type event. So that's sort of what I'm seeing at the moment, looking very similar in the price action. So you have the big selling climax through here, big selling climax here, automatic rally, chop sideways through here, very similar structure, right? And then you have the rally, right? Rally, chop sideways. We had obviously an extra throwback in here, maybe characterize that part or that part being similar. And then, yeah, the slow grind up basically into the neckline or the range high and then the breakout. So to me, that just makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Ethereum did push up higher into this area up here and then follow like a full reaccumulation cycle, similar to what Bitcoin did in the last cycle, right? Because Ethereum sort of got left behind in the last cycle. We sort of just chopped sideways through here for a while, and if it had done what Bitcoin did in 2019 cycle, we would have come up to $1,000 pretty much, or 970. But obviously it only peaked pretty much at 330, 350. Okay. And that was while Bitcoin made it relatively up to this level up here. So it got left behind. That might happen again in this cycle. We don't know. But at the moment, it's looking like it wants to follow Bitcoin into its push and have quite a strong rally into the reaccumulation stage of the market. We're going to remember last time back in 2019, there wasn't really anything happening on Ethereum, right? Like what was happening on Ethereum back then? I mean, all you pretty much had was Arthur Hayes just talking about how much of a shitcoin it was 24/7 on Twitter while he was probably accumulating, right? So that was, and BitMEX was shorting it like crazy, and they were the strong market leader with all the volume at that time, especially on perps anyway, because they didn't do spot, but they were definitely leading the market. And having the founder of it talking about how much of a useless token it is, definitely didn't help it catch a bid, right? But this time, there's so much happening on Ethereum. Like the story really is there for it to catch quite a strong bid and narrative. And now you've got staking that's, potentially you can unlock it and all this sort of stuff now. Well, not potentially you can unlock it, you can unlock it. So people can move their capital in and out of the protocol. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Come up to this level up here because it's a continuation block that could cause some issues for a bit. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a run like this, sideways chop, we get some sort of a flag pattern, something like this, while all the oscillators pull back because they're quite overbought still at the moment. I think stochastic RSI can still push a little bit higher. RSI can as well. I just get stock up. Right, so stock's pretty overbought as well, but I mean, it can definitely move a lot. It can move a fair bit higher, up to like 95 or so. And, you know, the market continuing to move higher. Well, stock is pulling back anyway, so it's not too much of a concern. But usually what happens is you get some like close to the extremes, put in a bear div or something like that, TD9s, etc., on the high time frames like the dailies, etc., like that. And then we start to move sideways, have a bit of a flag pattern, and then maybe push up to 2,500, 2007. And then, yeah, the ultimate goal would be up here, this 3,370 to 3,500 area. If we do get a full cycle, but I mean, a lot of people say this is a bear market rally, but for me, like this stage of the cycle is realistically the start of the bull run, and when then we move into reaccumulation phase, right? So we're going to have a look at Bitcoin here, and I'll map it out for you guys. All right, so we had the rally up to 0.618. Right, the strong rally up to 0.618, and then, you know, chop sideways. My opinion, if there wasn't a COVID event, this probably would have been the bottom for the reaccumulation. It probably would have just done this, right? And then this would have been up. Maybe there would have been another pullback post-halving, and then the rally would have taken off. But yeah, we did get the golden opportunity gift to rebuy down at the range lows. I don't think, unless there's some crazy event that happens post-halving, you know, war with China or something like that, they invade Taiwan, you know, or there's some crazy black swan event, you know, that happens at the start of next year post-halving, I don't think we're going to get this type of a sell-off event. I wouldn't expect it anyway. If we go back and look at, we're going to have to get a different chart up. Oops, sorry. If we look at the last cycle from 2015, the initial rally didn't actually come as high as the last one, right? We pushed up, then we sort of had the runs similar, almost up to 0.618. But this stage through here went for a lot longer. This was similar to, you know, 180% run, you know, similar sort of run to our first move on this bit, this breakout that we just had recently on BTC. But the halving from memory was around this point here. So, you know, you sort of had a reaccumulation phase was this area through here, and you had the halving here, a bit of a sell-off, and then it ran again. So, you know, you almost had like two reaccumulation phases through here and here. So we can't rule out something like that happening again for BTC in this new cycle, okay? So I have to see just how high this one ends up coming. You know, there is potential that we don't make it all the way up to the 618 and we end up, the top gets put in here. But back in the previous cycle, 2 cycles ago now, right, we just sort of moved up into a solid uptrend. So the initial pump wasn't as strong, and the reaccumulation went for 201 days. And then this was a really strong rally, 80% rally. So, you know, you had a 180 or 190 rally, 120 rally, and then a pretty aggressive pullback that pretty much came back, you know, to this level through here, and then support resistance flip of the previous highs, right? Get rid of that. Support resistance flip of the previous highs, and just kept on running, and it just continued to do that. So, you know, there's no, you know, it doesn't, we don't have to come all the way back down to the highs of the reaccumulation range like what we did back in 2019. And I think a lot of people are expecting that. You know, maybe they're not buying in here. They're like, oh, I'm just going to wait until, you know, it has that big sell off before the halving. You know, that's not locked in. Okay, guys. I should ask you guys any questions you have in the chat. Feel free to drop them any coins or anything like that we want to take a look at. So probably the biggest thing at the moment is if Ethereum can keep pushing, then Total 2 is going to have a really big breakout, right? So we have a big breakout here on Total 2 because this is just a huge inverse head and shoulders, okay? Right. We have a nice breakout of this level through here. We easily can push up to 800 or even up to here would be probably the high 957, right? And that would, you know, enable all the altcoins to really get moving. So altcoins I'm looking at the moment that look pretty good is GMX. This looks pretty nice. Litecoin looking pretty nice as well with this structure. So, I mean, GMX just looks like a massive bull flag in the mix at the moment in the building. It might have one more pullback unless it just gets dragged straight up by Ethereum being too bullish at the moment. So let's see how that pulls back. But I wouldn't mind buying it here on the retest this trend line again if it doesn't just go straight up now. Litecoin been chopping around a fair bit. So usually with flags when the market's really bullish like this, you will get 1, 2, 3, 4, get the 5 touches. And, you know, the 5th touch doesn't always come back. Sometimes it gets held up by the middle of the range, which might be what we're seeing here at the moment. And then you get the pump out. So this has potential to go all the way up, I think, to about 160. And it could get a little bit of hype coming into it soon because we have the halving for Litecoin coming up shortly as well. So that's something to think about. Matic looks really good here at the moment. Just been consolidating sideways after breaking out of this downtrend. I don't know. I feel like it wants to push at least up to this range highs here, or maybe even come up and retest the pump high here. But this level here, right, and this level up here, wouldn't be surprised if that gets tested if the market gets bullish here. Zero's one, I think, has potential to get moving again and has a really strong narrative behind it. ID's one I've been talking about for a little bit. That's currently popping off right now. Nice 15% on the day. This is, you know, some people call these virgin coins because they haven't been pumped yet. But there's pretty much like a nice, you know, opened, falling wedge, breakout, pullback, and now it's getting a nice, nice rally, right? Up 20% pretty much from the lows. Sushi is another one that's looking really good. Looks to just be chopping higher right now. I think this is going to push up. Once it breaks this downtrend, it should start moving a little bit more. It's just chopping sideways. You know, they had the hack the other day as well, but it wasn't really anything to get concerned about. Once it breaks this downtrend level through here, I think definitely could push up to $2 for sure. Okay, back up to range highs. So getting in the bottom quarter of the range is always nice. Right. Still in the bottom quarter of the range. So yeah, potential there for me, that's for sure. Casper is one. I think, you know, it's another like ZK roll-up type coin. I'm pretty sure that I think is going to be the new hype that everyone's going to be talking about soon. So looking at those, because A0 is the other one that's quite interesting with that type of protocol. So this already had a massive pump, right? 500 odd %. Potentially though, we're only on MEXC and a couple of other small exchanges like KuCoin and stuff like that. It's not on any of the big exchanges. This easily could keep on flagging out, going sideways, generating some more hype before it goes again. So I want to be getting into positions on this for, preparing ourselves for when it gets onto the larger exchanges, because eventually it will get onto Binance and have, its big Binance pump. I'm holding a bit of this actually, and it's having a nice breakout push at the moment. Probably getting dragged up by Ethereum's bullish price action, but that's looking pretty good because they had a bit of a scare with everything that was going on with the foundation sort of ripping everybody off by not taking on board their votes. But that's good to see that holding this level here and getting a breakout of this downtrend, because this is pretty much a bearish setup, right? More often than not, a triangle pattern like this, descending triangle, breaks to the downside. So a failure of a bearish pattern to break to the downside, especially in a bullish market like we're in at the moment, is a pretty strong sign. So I wouldn't be surprised if this came up to at least test the highs here or just went on a new rally altogether. Obviously, a lot of whales have a whole heap of this, so they're probably going to pump it at least 1 or 2 times, even if it does end up being a total shitcoin, because the foundation has wrecked themselves. But let's see how that ends up playing out. So I'm a little bit more hesitant with this one. It still could do really well, but I wasn't really a big fan of how they played everything. Dogecoin, obviously getting some love. It's good to see they actually retraced the Elon pump, pretty much 100% of it. I think this is obviously a tough one to trade these days. I mean, if I was going to be getting into Doge, it would just be a buy and hold and wait for Elon to, do something with it, like add Bitcoin and Doge or something like that to Twitter as a form of payment. That would probably be the only thing I think that could send this up. But I'm not sure if this is going to get pumped like it did previously. We will see how this ends up playing out. Aave is one that's in a really nice accumulation range. I'm not going to get too excited on this until it gets out 115, to be honest, but this could end up being like Ethereum was in the last cycle and takes until post-halving until it breaks out. So keep your eye on that. Same with Link. Like this might just keep on chopping sideways, right, for longer until post-halving, and then it eventually breaks out. A bit like ADA did in the last cycle, right? And, while all these, Dino coins going sideways for 2 years, all the new stuff will be popping off and going nuts, right? Not the hugest fan of ASX at the moment. Looks like it probably just wants to keep going sideways for a while. See how it goes. I'm a bit more of a fan, even though they do look a bit similar. Alluvium, I don't know, maybe because I made heaps off this already. Posted about this a fair bit in like Facebook group and stuff like that, and in Discord earlier in the year, and had a really nice 100% pump. So looks to be in a little bit of a low time frame accumulation through here. Breakout of this downtrend would be quite bullish, and it's getting pretty close to that. So potentially this ends up getting a push back up to this level here, or even back up to the range highs, right? Magic seems to be outperforming whenever the market runs. I'm pretty sure this is another ZK rollups type coin as well. So keep your eye on that, because that's at 7-8% at the moment, where pretty much everything else is around 2s and 3s, right? So that will continue to outperform, in my opinion, on the way up again. Aptos as well is probably one that's going to continue to outperform. Had a break of this downtrend. It's pretty much had a nice little rally, but just gone sideways. This could have another pump and another leg up. He came back and hit the 0.618. While it still holds 0.618, still has potential to run, up to say $30 or something. Mina as well is a similar one, holding the 0.618, has potential to definitely run back at least to 1.2. But this all requires total 2 getting a solid breakout and closing up around this area or higher. I don't want to see another wick rejection like all of these through here, okay? You guys are interested in like long-term total shitcoin plays. This one, World Mobile Token, supposedly that's actually not really a shitcoin. It actually has quite a good foundation to it, really good fundamentals. A lot of people in the Facebook community, Crypto Paradox group, if you're not in there, go jump on there because there's a lot of good content put up in there. Yeah, I posted about this because I think some of my friends are in Dubai, crypto whale community going to pump this, but because they were all posting about it for a little bit. But I feel like I posted about this one in our Facebook group, and a whole heap of people were talking about how good the tech is on this. So that's maybe an interesting one to do a little bit of research into and have a look at. And that's pretty much it for altcoins, to be honest. I mean, we just covered a lot. Gala's probably the other one. This really moved at the start of the year. I mean, from January, at a 300% move. So that has potential to outperform as well if we do get this next move on Ethereum and drags altcoins up. So yeah, maybe up to potential range highs up here, which is quite a strong rally for me. It's almost 111%. LDO, I've been talking about this one a little bit now. Keys to break if out from this downtrend. And then, there's liquidity in this area here and up here and up here, right? Which is where all the arrows are. But yeah, this had the big head and shoulders, which obviously looks like it's starting to fail, especially if this breaks above this level here. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that one plays out, and might be one to rotate through as well. DXDY, that really outperformed out of the lows as well and had a huge pump. Just looks like it's coiling up at the moment, getting ready to go. That can definitely push up another 30% to range highs. I don't know if it gets out or not. But ultimately, what you want to see is a push up out of here, and then you get your sign of strength, right? Your sign of strength here, some sort of a bull flag type action above the range, right? And then that goes. I'll give you an example of that. A really good one is ADA. Right, in the last cycle. Right, so like Ethereum, it took forever to break out, but when it finally did, you got the breakout, it failed the SOS and sort of rolled back over in a backup action to retest the range highs. Chopped around here for a little while, and then we had the next sign of strength, which is this area through here, right? That was a really nice sign of strength. Confirmed, broke out to the upside, had a nice bullish retest of that, and then absolutely launched from that point forward. So, the coins with good narratives, right? Once they do break out of their accumulation ranges, they really can get going. So from that SOS, it still ran, Jesus, off the freaking chart. Right, it still ran another 1,800%, right? And that is after quite a large move in above the range high, right? Already 400% from the range from the COVID bottom, right? So yeah, some of the coins, I don't know, ADA had, just that crazy community behind it. I don't know why so many people are obsessed with ADA, but I wouldn't expect that same type of pump to happen again this cycle. Let's see how it plays out though. But I feel like a lot of these dyno coins are going to get weaker and weaker each cycle. We're going to have a look. It's not showing the old data. It's hard to find the first cycle of data from ADA actually, which is a bit annoying. But he did have a really good cycle in 2017. I'm not sure why. I can't seem to find it. If anyone can find a chart with ADA on it from 2017, it was like a perfect Elliott wave. It was like up, chopped sideways, up, pulled back, and then it had the fifth wave. It went like this. I traded that so well back then as well. It's a bit annoying that I can't get the chart back up. Yeah, who's on the stream? Any questions, guys? Just had a nice scalp on ARB. Nice. Thoughts on Ori? Let's have a look up. Ocean BTC, LTC BTC. Okay, we'll do Ori first. Aura, I don't even know how to say that. ORAI anyway. I think I have it in my list. Here it is. See, this is a tough one. And this one of the AI coins, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know. Look at that chart. It looks pretty fucked to me, to be honest. I shouldn't be dropping F bombs. YouTube will probably nuke me, but I don't know. I'm not loving it. Probably needs to have a bit more consolidation, sort of like what Alluvium has at the moment, right? Go like this, and then it'll find a bit of a run. But if the AI coins start to take off again for some reason, it'll probably fly. So AGIX as well is one to keep your eye on, because they all sort of move together, sort of led by FET usually as well. And Rounder had a really nice pump actually last few days. So maybe that is a signal that the other AI coins are going to get dragged up. Let's see what happens. But keep your eyes on those, because they did massively outperform as well in the last run. Haven't covered DOT yet, or XN. XN, never heard of it. Am I spelling that right? Oh, sorry, XEN. What did I say? XN. Just threw a Z in. Right, it's going to be a real new coin. Maybe MEXC has the. Oof. Someone fat fingered on the opening. Jesus, what is this coin? Is this the right coin? That looks terrible. I mean, this is gonna want to hope to have some sort of amazing fundamentals going on for it to save this thing. But I mean, if you bought the bottom in March, you're up 350% somehow. Great IO maybe. Yeah, no, they're all the same. Can't really help that much with that. Looks just like terrible shitcoin. Thoughts on FTX? Does it relaunch? Yes. Sort of covered that off at the start, but we'll touch on it again because there's a heap more people in the stream now. I do think that FTX is going to, well, I mean, they pretty much confirmed it today in the court hearing that they're going to relaunch, right? So yeah, they didn't really give a proper timeline on it though. Some people were saying it's going to be Q2 this year. I think more likely Q2 next year, unless a company buys it. So they have been listing some of their billings as having meetings with potential buyers. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay, because if somebody buys it out, maybe they fill the rest of the gap. They've got 7.3 $billion at the moment. There's still 2.1 billion of clawbacks to come back from Binance and CZ that I think most likely they will actually get. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we're going to see what happens next with the next few updates that they get, if they get that 2.1 back from CZ, because then that will be giving us 9.4 in total, right? Which is getting close to that's getting pretty close. So I'm trying to do two things at once. What do we want to look at? DOT was the one we want to look at. Yeah, so my multitasking is absolutely horrific. Sorry, guys. We'll get DOT up and then I'll go back to what I was thinking about. So yeah, so potentially we've got $9.4 billion in total clawbacks and assets that they've found, like housing and all that sort of stuff, money that he gave to his parents, other employees, et cetera, other stuff that they just didn't know that they had, that they found on cold wallets and stuff like that, different folders that they had on Amazon Web Services with keys and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's a fair bit of the gap already filled. And then if they sell it to somebody, which would probably make the most sense, then yeah, that would fill the last couple of $1 billion, and then we get 100% back. The other option as well, if they don't sell it and they run it themselves, or hire people to run it, then the gap that is left over, the couple of $1 billion gap that's left over, then we could opt into creditors could opt in to get a debt to equity swap, and then you would own part of the company, and then you get paid out obviously from the revenue that the company makes through fees and stuff like that. So that could be a really interesting option. We're going to have to just, sort of sit tight for a little bit longer and see what they end up proposing to us anyway. But if you guys want, you should follow this guy. You should follow this guy, FTX shareholder. He did say creditor. He's changed it to shareholder. So AFTX creditor, he posts some really good stuff, and there's a few other guys that are posting a whole heap of stuff. But you're getting all the details pretty much from all the court filings. So you can go. There's a bit of a timeline through here. So we'll see how it ends up playing out. Okay, so DOT just looks like it's in its accumulation range as well. There's a lot of coins that just got absolutely annihilated. So usually you would have, this is your selling climax, then you have this automatic rally, and then you come back down for second test phase B, right? One more rally, then you have the spring, and then it sort of goes like this. But alts and the market just got absolutely annihilated. So even from, you could say this part here, maybe preliminary support. So this is selling climax, like, the spring or the accumulation range is almost like in a downtrend, because the market just got so badly annihilated. There's so many coins that, like, the accumulation actually started back here. Not really at this point here, but it's sort of hard to pick because the market environment for crypto was just so insanely bearish. Like, look at how far down some of these things went, like 92% on like a coin like DOT, which, is pretty well renowned for having good fundamentals as well. So, I don't know. That's crazy to me, to be honest. But you could look at it like this. Right, and then this is accumulation range. That's the spring. And if you can hold this, you want to see it come back up to here. But this might be one that ends up trading like Ethereum did in the last cycle. And, it doesn't get the breakout until after the halving. Like, so it ends up being like this. And it just chops around in this range for another year, frustrating the shit out of all the holders. So yeah, for me, I'm not too concerned about getting in super low through here, because I want to be mainly holding Bitcoin and potentially a decent bag of Ethereum if it continues to move up as well. And then waiting to get in here on a lot of these altcoins after they break out of their ranges, like what we just covered on ADA just before. Is buying FTT a good option? I did say a while ago it was probably a good one to put $1,000 into. Today it pumped 100% already, so it's a bit of a tough one. But I did post about it in Discord maybe like over a month ago, I think. Can't even get it on most places. Polo probably has it depends how much it pulls back, but I don't really like buying something after it had 130% pump. But, if they do give it value, potentially it comes back up to 23, right? He could even go higher if FTX 2.0 goes nuts. But if you did put any capital into FTT, it would have to be like, money that, you literally don't care if you never see again, right? But the multiples, even after this 100% pump, the multiples, if it ever does get back up to even up here, that's still a 10x, right? And if we go back up to, the previous highs, 2,600%. So I don't know. I was going to put $1,000 in, and then I forgot to do it for some reason. I don't know why. I've been thinking about it all through this range through here. I was like, I should put $1,000 in. I think I almost did it one time, and I was like, I'll wait a little bit longer, see what happens next. But, to me, probably the number one thing that they need to do with a restart is give FTT some sort of value, right? Because if FTT has some sort of value, that was the main thing that brought them undone. If, CZ came out and said that he's going to nuke his bag on the market while we're up here getting ready to recover. And, it sent it to the bag all the way down 95%. in pretty much 3-4 days. And they had so much of their leverage. They had all their FTT holdings were sort of like, they had the money borrowed against the FTT holdings. So in my opinion, the number one thing that they probably need to do by restarting the exchange is give FTT some value of some sorts, because they hold so much of it as well. And then, they can liquidate some of it and use some of that to pay people off over the long run, because we probably don't get all the money in one go right at the start either. Think about that. But let's have a look at Ethereum anyway, because it's the coin at the moment. This is the order book, right? So this is all the sells through here on the top exchanges. So you can sort of see the price action. I've just been watching Ethereum on my second screen while I've been talking to you guys. As it pushes up through this level, it's actually broken out of that level. Let's have a look. I think that was the daily high. Yeah, daily close high. Let's only mark that. So I mean, a day, even just a 4-hour close up here would be pretty nice. Like that's an exit from the range, right? I would love the daily to close above this level, ultimately above 1983. That would be good to see. I don't want to see big wicks coming down. I don't want to see like, this sort of stuff that we got in here or this, right? Because that means it's going to take a few more days and I have to try and push again next week. I want to see a nice close above here and then a continuation. It just pushes with total 2 getting a nice close and breakout and pushing up to this level up here, okay? So we're going to see strong, clean breaks. But yeah, the hourly here is struggling a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised. We're on TD here. So we're at the 8 at the moment. We're going to get the 9 and then a bit of a pullback. Maybe flag out for a little bit, depending on what New York does. What is the stock market doing at the moment? Yeah, so I think the stock's probably just going to chop sideways for a little bit longer and then maybe rally. NASDAQ still holding this level looks good to me. So potential setting up for a reversal here. Or just, chopping, pushing up, waiting for the New York session to get its move higher. Yeah, that's sort of the pattern at the moment. Right, back up to range highs. Makes sense. Don't want to see it breaking below this level though, and definitely don't want to see it losing this level. Right, I want to see it in that nice uptrend that we've had since the broadening descending wedge breakout right here. And there was the head and shoulders still here as well, right? Bit of an ugly one. Those are some terrible drawing skills, but you guys can see it anyway. Not the easiest to draw that one. But yeah, it was on ES as well, obviously. So, I want to see both of those. Right. I want to see this have nice, solid sign of strength and then pushing up to test this level up here and would make the most sense to me. So another strong campaign push coming up soon, I think. They just need people, Wall Street is when I say they, Wall Street hedge funds, the Soros types. They need everyone to get bearish through here. And so their stop losses above here so they can liquidate them and force them to close their puts and stuff like that and close their shorts to move it up higher, right? That is the game. That's how it's played. You got to get it, or you got to get all the retail plebs offside and maybe even some other hedge funds, right? To get them to get offside. Really important chart though at the moment, I should have mentioned probably earlier, is the ETH BTC chart, right? We're looking at this last week, potentially to close above this level here. I want to see that get reclaimed. So we got rejected after that nice push early last week. I want to see this now continue to show strength, reclaim this level. Even like inverse head and shoulders through here would be nice. Something like that. Okay. Framey doesn't want to play ball with me. My auto select. But yeah, if you look at this on a low time frames, it's a really nice setup. Right. So clean here, the BTC charts. Someone wanted us to look at Litecoin BTC as well, didn't they? Right. Look at that perfect pin bar here on the 1 hour. Right. These are the kind of setups I just love. Perfect swing failure pattern. Right. You come down, you put the pin bar in, come back and retest the level perfectly. Buying, buying, buying. One more pin bar, take out everybody that took the trade like this. Stops were too close. Take them out, and then you reverse it. All right. If you took the second trade, it would have been like this. We're up about 7R right now. So yeah, Ethereum putting a little bit of a pullback right now on the 8. So 1 hour might need a bit of time to reset, to be honest. Yeah, that 5 minute doesn't look too happy. So probably just kind of come back. We want to see this continuation block through here hold. Right. You want to see this sort of stuff for the next. So this is like the first push, right? So usually you have the first push, bit of a bull flag, push again, bit of a bull flag, push again. All right, Litecoin BTC. Oh yeah, there's a pretty important order block through here that needs to clear. And then we're getting support here from this right now. So yeah, basically the 9 on the 4 hour, that guy there is the one that's supporting the range at the moment. So I don't know. Got to see how it plays out. Doesn't look amazing, to be honest. Like this is a pretty strong downtrend. So realistically, it has to break through this level, which is the daily TD9 and order block, right? It needs to get a rally above here. I don't know. I feel like it's sort of running out of time as well for its run into the halving. So I'm getting more and more sus on Litecoin because this time in its cycle, in its last cycle, like it had already launched. And like it's just not that strong versus Bitcoin. When was the halving? Last halving. This was the last halving pump here. Jan 19, June 19. Jan 19. Yeah, so it was pretty much this rally here. $160. Like it had already started pushing pretty aggressively. Yeah, from here to here. A little bit of outperformance, but it's really not moving like it was against Bitcoin in its last cycle into the halving. And it's sort of running out of time because the It's in August, I'm pretty sure. BTC halving April 27th now. Yeah, 2nd of August for Litecoin. So yeah, kind of running out of time, to be honest. So back to Ethereum. Yeah, it looks like there's some pretty thick walls in here at the moment. There's a lot on BitMEX, Jesus. Unex has a pretty big wall at 2,000 as well. The wall on Binance is actually not that thick. It's going to take a bit to get through 2K, to be honest. Let's see how it goes. Might take a while. Might take a 1 hour bull flag or something. $30-minute doesn't look great, does it? Or the 1 hour. So yeah, this is probably going to end up chopping around for a while, and then might end up copying something like this. Where is the ghost feed? Sorry, something like this. Pretty close to my drawing, actually. It's hilarious. So I wouldn't be surprised. Let's leave that on there, see how that ends up playing out. Litecoin seems dead. Yeah, it does a little bit like the narrative. I mean, what is Litecoin? It's just a copy of Bitcoin that sucks. So I don't know. A lot of people love it though. Supposedly has a whole heap of transactions, but I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest. Do you think Binance was holding down the market to unload their bags? I think Binance was holding down the market to actually load their bags. So that's something to think about. Because basically, you know, if you're watching the wallet, CZ's wallet, this wallet here had $1 billion in it and it went all the way down to 20 million. Now it's back up to 114. I might just refresh this actually. Oh, and now it's gone. Now it only has FTT in it. So maybe you bought FTT with that 100 mil that we just had listed there. And these are the other two main wallets. Okay, so he's got 13 mil now in that one. It says 19. So yeah, one thing watching these wallets is seeing the FTT tokens pop up in them, which was not there until just recently. And it looks like all the USDT, you'd have to go through and have a look at these transactions to see the BUSD exits and when those left. But it looks like they've depleted the BUSD bags, which is interesting. Anyway, because they were holding down the market. 21 million FTT there. 4 million there. 4 million there too. The same wallet? No, it can't be. 4.2. Yeah. 4.8. Yeah, so basically it was this wallet here, this one. Post it in Discord if you guys want. And you can jump on ETHScan and chuck it in and have a look. Anyway, you can go back and track it if you really want to, but basically had $1 billion in it, and then he came out and said he was going to put that $1 billion into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and BNB, and the bag slowly moved down after we got up into this range. Right, so we moved up into this range, and everyone was like, "Oh, we pumped so hard because CZ bought the $1 billion worth," and then he put out, I think a post on Twitter saying he hasn't started buying yet, and a photo of the $1 billion BUSD in the wallet, and then basically just been chopping sideways since then, and the value of that bag slowly went down over time, and everyone was saying, "Oh, CZ's buying here to hold the market up." Right. And what I think he was doing is just T-wapping through here on limits. And there was a massive wall of sells all through here on Binance, all Binance markets. When I say markets, I mean like alts and stuff like that. I mean, perps and spots, invest, perpetuals and stuff like that. So spot and futures, you had really big, thick walls through here. And everyone was saying, "Oh, the market's going to dump as soon as he finishes buying." It's like when Saylor finishes buying, the market dumps off every time, right? But what ended up actually happening is he was holding the market down, in my opinion. And then once he'd finally finished buying, that bag dropped down to $20 million from $1 billion. The sell walls disappeared the other day, and then we pumped out. So that tells me that most likely he was actually buying through here. While holding the market down, and then pulls the sell walls and lets the market rip, puts the wall, moves the wall from being a sell wall and puts a buy wall underneath, and then market pumps. So yeah. I can never remember where I had you guys. The indicator for buy and sell walls. I mean, you just have to look for it. You can use this website if you want to, which isn't a bad one, but there's a whole heap of different ways to look at the order books. Yeah, there's a whole heap of different ways to look at the order book anyway. But you can use this one if you want to. Kingfish is another one. Agar is another one. Ask Romps if you're in. He has a whole heap of them. There's like 10 different ways to look at it these days. Ask Romps will give you a list of different ways to look at the order books. But and you can just see it like up here. There's 558 Ethereum sitting at just this level here, right? So when we were on Bitcoin, we had thousands. Coinbase, there's a lot here. Now that is a lot of Ethereum. Just in this area here, there's 5.1 thousand Ethereum through here. BitMEX is obviously going to be way higher because that's possibly listed in dollars. I wish it told you, to be honest. I'm thinking BitMEX is going to be listed in dollars. There's no way there's 100,000 Ethereum, 200,000 Ethereum there. Maybe Coinbase is too. Not sure. I have to double check that. But you can look on you get the order book up actually, like on your phone or something like that, and have a look. And it will list it in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What altcoins are you bullish about? Litecoin, digital silver. Is that what they said back in 2017? That wasn't, yeah. That is what they said about it back then. Digital silver to the gold. You drop a link to that indicator. Yes. There it is. Altcoins, I sort of just covered that off before, so you might have to go back and re-watch it. But Quickly can have a quick cover off. Jim, FTT we sort of talked about. LTC, if it can get going, does have a bit of upside, I think, if you can finally catch a bid. GMX. Rounder sort of already moved, so maybe some of the other AI coins are going to follow soon. We'll see how that plays out. I mean, I like Illuvium. Magic is probably going to outperform as well. Every time the market moves up, this runs pretty hard. So this can definitely push up to here. But yeah, GMX is one of the ones I think is looking really nice at the moment. To be honest, like high time frame, looks like an ascending triangle. This looks good to me. As long as it doesn't do this, right? If it does that, then we want to get out of it. But until it does that, I think it's probably going to push higher. Looks like it's just building sideways, getting ready for a run. ID had a nice push already. And ARB as well is looking all right too. I'm guessing this is eventually going to get pumped. But yeah, it's a bit tough because, you know, you into buying anything now, you're sort of like chasing a little bit, to be honest, after like everything's pumped 15, 10%. And it looks like Ethereum is probably going to have a little bit of a pullback shortly as well and chop around for a few hours, probably, unless New York is really bullish on ES. So we'll see how that ends up playing out. All right, really nice DR set up here today. All right, so you got the pin bar here this morning. That was your entry candle. Real easy one. Early breakout of the DR, come back, pin bar off the IDR. Right, so that's your entry. 10R, all in half a day's work. So you're looking a bit bearish at the moment with the rejection SFP of DR high here. But probably just going to hop sideways the rest of the London session. Then we're going to see what it does in New York. If you can get a breakout to the upside, it's going to look a lot better for Ethereum because, you know, you just have general buy pressure of all markets. All right. Let's get ETH up on the low time frame. Have a look at its DR breakout. So yeah, I posted this earlier actually in Discord this morning. So Ethereum just looks like a bull flag through here. And yeah, breakout through here would have got you the really nice sniper entry on Ethereum. Either getting in here, just predicting the breakout. It's a little early though, or on the confirmation, or buying a live candle somewhere through here. You got you a really nice trade just on a low time frame. Pick 6R off that. If you weren't already in, I was already in though. My algo bought in back here. So if you're copying the algo, we got the entry last night on CPI. So it's a pretty nice one, up 5.57%. Total account balance. So yeah, I've only got like $4,000 on it at the moment on the actual account, and then I'm copying it with about $2,000 as well. I'm going to move that up to about 20 soon. So I just wanted to see how it was trading live for a little while before. It's been running for almost 3 weeks now. We've had the algo actually running since the start of the year. It did 26% in January. It did 26%, 14% it did in February, and then it only did 8% in March, which was a pretty poor month for it, to be honest, because we're in such a tight range on Ethereum for so long. It doesn't perform very well when you're in a tight range. And so this, I can show you guys what it looks like actually. This is the algo here, all the buys and sells. So basically, you know, we've been testing it. It was looking really good. And then we had this huge run. We had like all even trades in a row. and it performed really well. And then this tight range through here, like we just got chopped out, unfortunately. It was only a 6% range, like through here and stuff like that. That's buy, sell, tiny little gain, loss, two in a row. This was a nice little winner, loss. And then in through here and stuff didn't perform too well either. But yeah, a couple of nice winning trades in a row now. We're always working on that, trying to develop it, make the strike rate better. But at the moment, the overall long-term picture is really ridiculous. If you ran it across Ethereum on the last full market cycle, it was like a 92,000% account gain. So, I'm pretty content with where it is at the moment. But yeah, when it does move sideways, it's just part of the strategy that, because it's a momentum trading catching indicator, is, when the market's like this in these sort of conditions, it's going to get chopped out a little bit when it's sideways. But when it has these big moves, it adds to it. And then, it sort of just goes, it captures the big moves and it increases the account value. And then it sort of like just chops sideways, a few little losses, a few wins, and sort of like balances it out, maybe only like a small account growth or a small loss in the sideways periods. And then, it catches the big moves again. And then you're compounding the account every time. So the account is bigger up here than what it was down here. And so each trade, because we do 100% in and out every trade, and it's limited to max 3% loss, right? And that was one of the reasons why we had a couple of bad trades back through here, because we took a total of 6.5% loss on, because we had two buys just before a bad news event, which sort of like didn't help for the month of March anyway, which has been unfortunate because it looked like we were going to have to break out, and then we had a bearish event happen. The Kobe CZ getting arrested, red notice thing was one of them. I can't remember where it was. It was one of the, I think it was this entry here. So we literally bought, and then, it was a 3% sell instantly straight away afterwards. So those type of things don't help either. But, that's coded in anyway. Because all those types of things happen in the last cycle as well. So once it moves out of this reaccumulation range, when it goes into its bull market again, like some of the trades that it catches is ridiculous. Like, it has like 30, 35% account gain per one trade, one entry, one exit sometimes, which is pretty nuts. When you look through all the trades, it was like 1,100 something, 105 trades from the data. So pretty cool. It's a pretty cool little thing just to have running in the background anyway. See if we've got any more questions. What narratives do we see playing out next? I think the ZK rollups is going to be the next thing to come out. The ZK zero proof coins. I think that's going to be the next thing to happen. So yeah. So A0 and stuff like that. Mina, Magic, all those type of coins, Arbitrum. Any other questions, guys? You're not going to hear that for a couple of minutes anyway. So I'll go have a look at Discord. Probably wrap this stream up now. I don't know how long we've been on for. Does it even tell us? Whoops. An hour and 12 minutes. Holy shit. All right, guys. Hopefully that helped out. Try and jump on a few more live streams over especially if the market is looking hot. Help you guys out a bit. But thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm going to eat some food now. Chat to you guys soon. How can you access the trading bot? You can copy me on. Are you in our Discord, Josh? I think the chance of FTX coming back to life are pretty high, to be honest. They've said that that's what they're going to do, and they came out and they said in court today that that's their main plan, and they cancelled the sale of the Japanese entity leg of the business. So yeah. Yeah, they canceled the sale of the Japanese part of the business. Should be heavy short on E, adding it 2K. Yeah, nice. Thanks for the heads up, man. Well, Algo will take profit for me anyway when the time comes. But yeah, basically with FTX, that's what they said they're going to do. So, they said in court today, all the court documents, that's what they said they're going to do. They canceled the Japanese leg of the business. They canceled selling it so that they could, because they were planning on restarting the exchange. There's been heaps of billing for exchange restart, tax implications of exchange restart, building out a new customer interface for exchange restart, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the link to copy our algo. So yeah, hopefully that works. Sometimes. So you just get on there, set up a Bing account if you need to, and then yeah, you can just put in whatever capital allocation you want to copy it, and yeah, it'll get you started. You can go on and see all the data and everything like that. So it's been running in Bing just for pretty much 2 weeks. Like, unfortunately, we started at a terrible time. We started running bought the top pretty much. We started running it finally through here because it took us a little bit of time to get it actually, we had to code all the signals to send from TradingView to Bing. And we sort of started setting that process up through here. And then, obviously we had the big sell off and then the pump. And, we got the first couple of test trades was, I think, maybe one of these two. I think it was this trade and this trade with like 0.01 Ethereum. And then the market just chopped sideways after everybody got on board. But yeah, it's good to see, we're getting a couple of really nice trades again now on the algo, starting to pick up again. What have I done here? Here it is. So yeah, you can see the performance. So pretty much like, it went sideways. The first couple of trades were actually really nice winning trades as well. They were big percentages, but percentage in the ROI was really low because I had $1,000 in here to test the start, and we only used like 0.1% of the account because we were testing to make sure it was going to signal the right amount of leverage and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and anyway, everything worked. It's been running really smoothly now, and we're finally getting that breakout to level the account size up. So yeah, one day I'll take you guys through the back test data and have a look at it. Yeah, I don't have it on hand at the moment. It's a bit to get it all up, but yeah, we'll chat soon, and I'll run you guys through it in a little bit more detail. Hope that helped with everything though, and peace out.